Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching The Big Bang Theory. This is a 7th episode of the 9th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the description below. Just click on it, put a password in, and enjoy. So episode 6, was it? Yeah. Last episode. Basically, the gang found out that AIM is now on dating websites. You know, Stuart's on there. He had successful two matches, so to speak, and they was like, look, we should get you on there, Amy. And they was all sat down, they was all going through, they was flicking on a phone, they was creating a profile, and then she received a text from someone called Dave, and he was like, I really enjoyed the date last night, hopefully we could do it again sometime. All of them are gossiping, all of them are in there wanting to know the details. You know, she said that, you know, she's been on a couple of dates. She was like, please be less than 2, please be less than 2, please be less than 2. Turns out she's been on 3. Damn it, you know what I mean? He's still at the bottom of the pile, but she's been on 3 dates. You know, Dave seemed to be okay, and he's asked for another one, so maybe we get to see him. It'd be interesting. Sheldon didn't know this information because he was too busy with with Leonard trying to do some dodgy helium deal. Basically, you know, the Swiss basic researchers was trying to figure out their theory, and he was putting it to the test, and he was trying to, you know, get some sort of accuracy on it before they could. And now at the university, Sheldon and Leonard, they didn't have the helium there to run their tests themselves. You know, it was on a back order, so they had to go and do some dodgy deals. You know, they had to, you know, go to Howard, who knows the guy, don't ask him any questions. They bought it, then they realised that maybe it's a bit sketchy, and they've stolen from the, you know, the US government, and they don't want to be associated with that. So then he returned it as another fee. Then Quicky was like, look, you can actually have some helium as long as you put my name on the, you know, on the record, so to speak. It was all 3 of us. Then decided no, sack that. They went back to the same guy, bought it again, and then obviously we didn't see them actually go ahead and use it, but that is going to be their foundation for maybe a couple of episodes down the line or something to re-reference back if they actually solved it themselves or the Swiss did. It's going to be interesting to see. But thanks for checking out today's episode. If you do enjoy it, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode.
About this study that found people that were cool and popular at 13 had problems succeeding later in life?
I'm doing okay, and I was very popular at 13. The servants would sing to me, laugh at my jokes. I wish I knew their names.
Studies say what happens to the unpopular kids.
You tell me you woke up in bed with one.
Leonard Nimoy's son is working on a documentary that he started with his father before he passed away. Well, they're looking for fans to interview, and Will thought I'd be good for it.
Oh, hey, high five.
Absolutely not. Penny, you've spent some time in front of the camera. Any words of advice?
Yes, don't take your shirt off just because the director said so.
You got a minute?
Not really. Visigoths are kind of up my butt right now.
Pause the game, Howard.
What's up?
We need to talk about redecorating this place. I get that you grew up here and you're attached to things looking a certain way, but I want this to feel like my house too. I'm redecorating. The furniture, the carpeting, the walls. I'm changing everything that depresses me when I look at it. Try not to be one of those things.
May I say something?
Is it about how I can't have new wallpaper because your dad left when you were little and your mom died?
Never mind.
I know that we're broken up, but I'm leaving this message because I thought perhaps you'd like to watch me be interviewed for a documentary about Mr. Spock. Or, as I like to call it, a Spockumentary. I'm going to use that joke in the interview, so try to laugh like you're hearing it for the first time.
This is Adam Nimoy.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. I admire your father's work very much. It's not every day I get to meet someone whose life's journey began in my hero's scrotum.
What you doing?
Making myself a bologna sandwich like my mom used to make me after my dad left, but before she died.
I'm thinking that maybe we can compromise on the house. Just redo one room and see how it goes.
That is reasonable.
Dining room.
I guess we didn't use it very often. Unless we had company, which didn't happen much after my dad left, and not at all after my
I'm gonna
mom.
go pick out paint samples.
It's like that time when he come back from space and all he was talking about was, yeah, I've been to space. So, do you know what? Yeah, astronaut. So, do you know this? I've done this when it's plummeting down. So, it like always resorted back to that. Do you know what I mean? And I said it before, like their apartment that they was in, which, I mean, I'm assuming that we just sold it. You know what I mean? We're never going back there. We're never going to see it again. It's just got this house gone, that apartment. See ya. You know what I mean? Like, was modern. It had loads of modern stuff, new kitchen, the furniture was like blue, you know what I mean? They had like some tables and a dining table at the back there. This one, you walk into this house, you could tell an old person lives there. I've said it before. The wallpaper's like pattern, you know, it's got like carpets in there, you know, all materially stuff. To me, like, you can tell it's an old person's house, but like that kitchen is a good size. It's just proper dated. Do you know what I mean? Like, that looks like it's 20 years ago. That would have been a nice kitchen. Nowadays, it's all about, say, gloss or better style wood. Do you know what I mean? Like, it needs revamping, updating. I understand it's his mum's house, but like, he needs to kind of let go, like, because it's now Howard's house. You know what I mean? Like, keep the house and don't live there and say that's your mum's house and use it as, I don't know, a place where you look and say that's my mum's. But if you're going to physically live there and have it as your family home, then it's got to become your house with memories that you accumulated in there, not with the stuff, the possessions that were there.
We're just gonna have a conversation, pretend the camera's not here.
How long have you known Adam?
A few years.
And what are you getting him back for?
Let's start with your name and occupation.
Dr. Sheldon Cooper, theoretical physicist, Caltech.
And what is your earliest memory of the character Spock?
The first episode of Star Trek, the original series I ever saw, was the Galileo 7.
What was it about Spock that appealed to you?
I think the same thing that appeals to people everywhere. The dream of a cold, rational world entirely without human emotion. Spock came from a planet governed only by logic. You know, on Vulcan, when your brother asks, "Why are you hitting yourself?" the answer is, "Well, I'm not. Well, you're moving my arm."
It was mean to me, too.
Yeah, you probably had it coming.
Do you have any Spock collectibles?
I have many. My most treasured is an autographed napkin given to me by my very thoughtful friend Penny.
Hi. Look at that. I'm in a movie. My shirt stayed on.
Can we see the napkin?
When did we get a wall safe?
When there was no more room in the floor safe.
When did we get a floor safe?
When we got the security camera.
When did we get a security camera?
Aquaman, protecting your home since 2012.
Man, I'm hoping it's
Father-in-law
authentic.
is in there right now.
Yes, so back me up. The house is good the way it is.
Son, hey,
Hey, Raj. Dad and I were just talking about taking down this wall.
you sure it's a pretty great wall?
What's so great about it?
I'm sorry, I did what I could.
He's doing all the work for free.
That is so generous of you. I'd like to switch sides.
Not only is it signed to me, but this is where he wiped his mouth. So we are currently in the presence of Leonard Nimoy's DNA. No offense, but this is pure 100% Nimoy. Now, because of your mother, you're only 50%.
Enough about the napkin. What else you hiding in there?
Now, wouldn't you like to know?
I would.
All right, then.
A will?
Yeah, my 1/18 scale Will Wheaton action figure. I also have the other kind of will. That is an engagement ring that I was going to give my girlfriend Amy.
What?
You bought her a ring?
No, this has been in my family for generations. No, except for a short time when Comanches cut off my great-great-great-grandmother's finger and stole it. You know, Amy had reservations about our relationship, so all worked out for the best.
I know, it's just...
I said I'm fine. We've gotten a little off topic. As a child, when faced with a dilemma, my mother encouraged me to ask, what would Jesus do? The answer to that was always, love thy neighbor. That's why I changed it to, what would Spock do? Well, 3 years ago, when I discovered Penny was eating all my Pop-Tarts, instead of getting angry or vindictive, I got a floor safe. The entire point of emulating Spock was to rise above human emotion, which I've spent a lifetime mastering.
Oh, not here.
But no, you went, what does mean?
Sheldon, I'm no expert, but aren't you completely missing the point of Spock? I mean, he liked to act like he had no emotions, but he was still half human.
Not true. No, look at me. I had an engagement ring to give a girl, and instead she rejected me. And am I emotional about that? No, I am sitting here on a couch talking about my favorite TV character like nothing happened.
You're yelling.
Because when I speak at a regular volume, no one seems to believe me that I put this Amy nonsense behind me.
This documentary is going to be awesome.
Thing is, though, right, is if he full on means it, so let's just say he full on means it that he put Amy behind him, which I firmly believe that he hasn't, but let's just say he has, let's just take his word for it, The fact is, you will start raising your voice if everybody consistently says you haven't. Do you know what I mean? Like, if somebody says to you, you okay? You say, yeah, I'm fine. And then they're like, are you sure you're okay? You're like, yeah, I'm fine. And are you okay? Like, yeah, I'm fine. Literally, I've told you. Like, stop asking me. You're the reason I'm not fine now. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then they'll say, oh, I told you weren't fine. It's like, no, that's not the thing. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So, like, he's saying, look, I understand that I had the engagement ring and I offered it her and she rejected it, but it's okay. It's worked out for the best. We're moving on. if everybody keeps asking and asking and asking, and he starts raising his voice and his voice and his voice, maybe it's because he's getting sick of them saying, but again, I'm just saying that hypothetically, I actually believe that he isn't over her and he is upset and he does want to be with her and he's, you know what I mean? He can't put it behind him just yet. It's too recent, you know what I mean? But again, you know, if people are asking, it would stress you out.
I feel like an archaeologist. Indiana Jones in the single-family dwelling. A rat skull.
Yeah, I think that's the den.
Oh, okay, so we must be under the dining room.
Yeah. You know, I know you don't want to hear this, but it wouldn't take that much work to turn that den into a nursery. Because Bernie said you didn't want kids.
I'm climbing on top of her every chance I get in a loving and respectful manner. The thing is, I really do want kids. In fact, every time I bring up the subject, she's always...
The thing is, I just don't understand American houses. Like, how the hell is a house built out of wood? Doesn't make any sense to me. Like, let's state on that house, like, you could go down there with a saw and chop it and it fall down. Like, I just don't get it. Like, every wall just made out of timber. It's crazy. Do you know the thing that does my head in the most? Like, is a little tangent. It's like, I said a couple of weeks ago, mate, are we getting an English summer? Literally, are we getting it? And then, now we're finally getting a couple of days that's hot. Like, today, it's like 20 degrees Celsius. I ain't got a clue what that is in Fahrenheit. I don't know. Like, honestly, I really don't know. But it's 20 degrees Celsius, right? And an American would be like, 20 degrees Celsius? Ah, mate, you know, why are you moaning? That's not even hot. It's like, do you understand that this is brick, yeah? Do you understand that the whole house is insulated? Do you understand that we don't have any air conditioning, we don't have fans, we have nothing? Because we only literally, for the whole year, have about 2 weeks of sun. So, our houses are built to retain the heat. I'm not knocking on a shallow hole of wall there. Do you know what I mean? Like yours, I can't put my fist through it as drywall. It's literally rock solid. And that's what I don't understand. Like, I'm sweating now. It's literally roasting. It's 20 degrees. Do you know what I mean? Like, where in the US, you know, I go on vacation, I go over to your country, it's like 40 degrees Celsius. Now, that is hot as well, but it's a different type of heat. There's a heat where it's a country that's there, that's made for heat, where you go in every building, it has air conditioning, it's cold, it's cool, it's airflow, you know, building to build with windows, so let the wind in, it's consistent flowing. And then there's countries that are made that are consistently cold, where every building's made to be warm. And like, you know, 98% of the year, we're freezing, so we need a house to retain heat. The other time, we're dying. We're literally dying. You got no covers on the bed, you know what I mean? You're sleeping literally no clothes on. You got no... every fan that you can buy in the shops is also that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's totally different. So, I don't know, that's just a tangent. It's mad how two different countries... I mean, houses are absolutely massive in the US as well. Like, I always say it. Like, my house is literally the size of, say, that living room and that kitchen put together. That's every single room. And their apartment is so big, like, compared to my house, you know what I mean? It's mad, the difference, the contrast between the US and the UK.
I can't believe Sheldon was gonna ask Amy to marry him.
I know.
Hello.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Better. Did Will and Adam leave?
Yeah.
You think they're going to put my outburst in the documentary?
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
Being upset about Amy all the time isn't accomplishing anything. If I want to resolve this situation, then I need to take action.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to find her and ask her to marry me. If she says no, well, then she can just Pompo Mirren.
So I should probably explain why I kind of fibbed. I told my dad that you were the one who didn't want kids because I didn't want to disappoint him.
Bernie, you don't need to worry about me. Raising children was the most rewarding experience of my life.
Please, Mom did everything. All you did was come home from work, sit on the couch, and drink beer. How is that raising kids?
This is really a conversation for husband and wife. If your mother asks, I was here till 10.
Howard doesn't help either, so in a way, Howard's not only like your father, but he's also like the child that you're afraid to have.
Why are you still here?
Fine, I'll leave. But it sounds like somebody needs a fresh diaper.
But I don't help out a lot, and I need to work on that. If we had a kid, it would be different. When my dad left, I promised myself that if I ever had a chance to be a father, I'd always be there. I really believe I'd be a great dad.
I know you would.
Speaking of making babies, what do you say I walk up and poke around your crawl space?
No way. He's funny, him. I forgot his name, Stephen Merchant. I mean, I knew that was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen last episode.
Isn't that dangerous? What makes you right and a trained psychiatrist wrong?
Because she feels. I don't. All I know is logic.
Yeah, right. Leonard, how could I have been so foolish to try and follow in the footsteps of a made-up alien race with no emotions?
Instead of idolizing fictional characters, you can focus on the real people who are already in your life.
Those are very wise words. They'd just be so much more comforting if they came out of a television.
See, I said this last episode, you know, literally last episode, I was saying what I want actually to happen is maybe she progresses forward, you know, with this Dave guy, and she sees how it goes, and, you know, Sheldon at the end of the season is like, right, I'm done with it, you know, I'm going in, I miss her so much, I'm going to tell her how I love her, I'm going to go in and propose. Now, I nearly got that in today's episode, literally one straight after. It's kind of the same, but it didn't actually happen. He's seen, obviously, Amy over there. And you know what? I was trying to focus on, was that Stephen Merchant? That, like, I can't even remember, like, what, did she kiss him? Like, I was literally trying to, like, squeeze and look and see. I think it was. He's pretty funny, to be honest. I do like him. Good mates with Ricky Gervais, Carl Pilkington, classic British, like, trio, you know what I mean? They made some decent programs together, like, we all love it. I'd like to see him in this a few episodes, if I'm being totally honest, because he is a pretty funny character. Now, it's be interesting to obviously see how he reacts and if he tells Amy that he's seen this, because, you know, Amy's literally not she's not messed about. She's sat there, she's heard that he's potentially gone out and asked somebody for a date. She's like, look, I didn't know that we was going to do that, but I'm going to have to move on myself. She's got on the app, she's been on a few, and now it seems like it's progressing forward. Literally no messing. And I also raised a question, is how quick's too soon after a breakup, you know? Why would you pass up on an opportunity when that could be the next one if the one that you're with not going to be the one? So, mate, it's tough. You know, he was going to go over and propose. Not the right time, but he had his feelings. Today's episode, it was ramped up. He was going to go. It's going to be interesting. Now Penny knows the information that obviously that he was going to propose and it's out there. She's going to sit down with Amy and it's going to get blurted at some point. You know the secrets that get passed around. You know how it's said. She's going to figure it out. Or also she might see it in the documentary. So once this information is disclosed or revealed or whatever you want to call it, it's going to be really interesting to see obviously what Amy does with it then. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So obviously we was going through a discussion of, is Sheldon fully over? Is he not? Do you know what I mean? Turns out he obviously isn't, because he was going to potentially propose again in today's episode, which is interesting. And obviously he's seen him with another guy and now it's obviously upset him. That's going to be one down the line, how it's addressed, and it's going to be interesting. But in today's episode, obviously, the question for Bernadette and Howard is, are they going to be parents? You know, down the line, what's going to happen? Now, obviously, her dad was there measuring up some walls. She wants to renovate the house. I understand it, to be honest. You know, she's like, look, this was your mum's house, and it's all got all your childhood memories in, and I totally get it. But if we're going to live in here, I need it to be my home. Do you know what I mean? I don't need it to be Debbie's. You know what I mean? I need it to be Howard and Bernadette. So we need to do our own decorations. I want to take this wall down. I want to do the kitchen. I want to do the den. I want to do this. And, you know, he's trying to hold on to all the feelings, all the emotions, you know what I mean? All the memories that he had. But it's the fact it's just a location. It's not the props. It's not the things. You know what I mean? Understand, be sentimental, keep a few things, maybe a few pictures, you know. Maybe keep a sofa or something, a dining table, nothing too crazy. You can't keep everything though. It can't just stay the same. Otherwise, it's not your house, is it? Do you know what I mean? Have you ever moved homes before and you've gone in somewhere and it's not felt like yours? You know what I mean? You've been so used and so comfortable in one place, one location for so long that once it's you know, like once it's changed, once the environment's different, then, you know, it doesn't feel like it's yours again until you actually bring in your home stuff. Do you know what I mean? Bring in your own bed, bring your own sofa in, get your own decorations of pictures up, get your mirrors there, you know, your own TV, and let's get the kitchen how we want it, dining table over there. Do you know what I mean? Get the few, you know, family occasions around, few pictures, make some memories ourselves in this house. You know what I mean? Instead of just having all the memories that you had with your mum, why don't we throw some parties? You know what I mean? Why don't we bring the guys around? Why don't we have a couple of events? You know, Christmas, birthdays. You know what I'm saying? Like Halloween, we'll do something together, get our own memories here, let it feel like our home. Do you know what I mean? That's what she's trying to do, and he's trying to hold on to it. Now also he's trying to progress the family, kind of. He didn't bring it up, her dad did, like about having kids, and he's like, look mate, I want to be a dad. You know, I firmly believe he'd be a great dad as well. I don't know how many people have had an absentee dad in their life or mum and then grown up to be an absentee dad or mum themselves. I don't think it happens. The main thing about being a parent is you want to be better to the kid than your dad was to you, even if your dad's good. Like, I love my dad, and I, to be honest, I can't fault him. Honestly, anything that I've ever wanted, he's always been there. You know, if I asked for something, he's there. If I wanted money, he'd give it me. Do you know what I mean? As a kid, I'd have everything that I wanted. If I wanted to do this or go here, he'd take me. If I wanted a PlayStation, he'd buy it. If I go on holiday, he'd take me every year. Do you know what I mean? Like, my dad's the best. And I wish that I'm just as good or better. Because if I know if I'm better than my dad, then my kids hopefully will have a great life. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't fault mine. So that's what Howard's like. He's like, look, mate, I've had a great dad and I'm turned out okay. How about I pass down my knowledge, my wisdom, everything that I've learned, and I don't be the absentee father. I want to be there for the kid's life, and hopefully he has a great one. And I totally get it. And he wants to be that parent. And we could tell that Bernadette didn't like it from the episode where he was going and doing the magic and stuff. But maybe, obviously, if she considers it, maybe she accidentally gets pregnant. Do you know what I mean? She's not trying it. It just happens, boom. And he's like, do you know what? Let's go for it. You know, we'll keep it. And it'd be great to see. You know, I don't think that Leonard and Penny are going to have a kid. I don't think that Sheldon and Amy are going to have one, if I'm being honest. But if we're going to introduce one, I do think that Bernadette and Howard would be probably the correct couple to give it to. So it's exciting. And obviously, if that's where we're going, I can't wait for it. Thanks for checking out today's episode, though. If you did enjoy it, please smash like. It really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.